It's that time of year again. The NFL draft is right around the corner. I think it's a couple weeks away now. We got a little bit of time, but today what we're going to give you an NFL mock draft. We're going to go through the top 10 picks and some other notable selections as well that we may or may not see in the first round of this year's NFL draft. All right. So, barring no trades, the first 10 selections, this is what I got. I got Cam Moore goes number one overall to the Tennessee Titans. It's the obvious choice, drafting the most experienced and NFL ready quarterback. He has all the skills. He's ready. I'm just hoping like hell it's not another Vince Young story. Number two, Abdul Carter gets sentenced to Cleveland for charges stemming from his dominance at Penn State. One of the best edge players we've seen in years. I think Cleveland pairs him opposite side of Myles Garrett. That's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Number three, I got Shador Sanders goes to the New York Giants. How fitting would the big shot quarterback with the big bling bling headed to the Big Apple? I mean, all eyes on this spot, and Shador would soak that up. All the attention, all the glamour, all of that. I just think it makes sense. And despite signing Russ Wilson and Jameis Winston, you still need a plan for your future. Plus, there's jobs at stake here, being Brian Dable and the GMs potentially, but got to draft Shador at three. Number four, Travis Hunter picked by New England following his teammate. First team All American, Heisman Trophy winner, and the most versatile player this game has seen in years. He's way too good of a player not to go top five, and the Patriots are not going to pass on him. Number five, Will Johnson, the best corner in the draft, goes to Jacksonville as they are in dire need of help in the secondary. They need help everywhere, but in my opinion, secondary mostly. Defensive line, linebackers, they're usually still pretty strong, but I think Adam Johnson gives you a lockdown corner and a sensational playmaker. He's a game changer. Number six, Austin Genty is destined to be a Raider. Okay, last season, Alexander Madison was their leading rusher with 420 yards on the season. In 14 games, 420 yards for the season was their leading rusher.
Sheesh.
Pete Carroll is going to want to run that ball. Y'all know Pete Carroll's going to want to run that ball, unless the Super Bowl's on the line. But adding Genty paired up with Raheem Mostert that they just picked up, that's a nice 1-2 punch, and you may have something there.
Hmm.
Number seven, I got Mason Graham gets picked up by the New York Jets, strengthening their bread and butter, their defensive line. So if you look at the Jets roster, their biggest need is not a defensive lineman because you got Quentin Williams and Leonard Taylor. They stand on business. They also added Derek Nandi from Kansas City. However, Mason Graham is way too great to pass on. And the way he plays screams Jets defense, man. They love drafting defensive talent. I mean, tight end Tyler Warren would be also be a great pick here, but I think, like I said, Mason Graham's too good to pass up here. Number eight, I got Jalen Walker going to Carolina as they continue to beef up on talent. Panthers need so much, and all mock drafts have them addressing their defense. I'll buy in. So, based on best remaining prospects, I'm going with that dog linebacker and Jalen Walker at eight. Number nine, I got James Pierce Jr. Solid edge rusher from Tennessee gives the Saints some youth on that defensive line. Cam Jordan is 35. Kalen Saunders is almost 30. You need some young guns, and James Pierce fits here perfectly as he's used to running the 3-4 defense as he did at Tennessee. Number 10, Armand Membao becomes the first offensive lineman off the board as he finds a new home with the Bears.
The
But
Bears.
the thought of a top lineman dropping all the way to the top 10 is different, man, but it's not exactly unusual with them sliding. So in the last two drafts, only two offensive linemen have been selected in the top 10. So this year, one isn't exactly a stretch.
Hmm.
But it's no secret that this is the biggest need for the Bears. And Caleb Williams was sacked 68 times last year. I mean, that's four times every Sunday. Four times
Right.
every Sunday.
Mhm.
As appealing as Tyler Warren, tight end, looks for Ben Johnson, new coach of the Bears, I just think that nothing pans out if Williams doesn't make it through the season. It was a miracle he made it through last season without
Mhm.
getting
Mhm.
seriously banged up. But I think Missouri lineman Armand Mambao checks all the boxes. A little bit more over maybe some Will Campbell, preferably from LSU. Maybe I think his measurables were a little bit better than his, or could be Kelvin Shepard from Texas too. Never know, but I think they go offensive line. Point being at 10. How's your list looking? Let's take a look at your list.
Huh, I thought you never asked. Hey, roll the screen. Let's go. Number one, you got to go with the kid Cam Ward with the most yards ever in the ACC. You know, he's a top pick. He definitely was the top pick going into the season with that Miami team. Will Levis has not showed any promise. He doesn't look like he's going to be there for the next year, month, 2 weeks. I don't know,
He
man.
might not.
He
He
might be
probably
out
won't
there.
make
He
it
might
to
he
that
might not
first.
even make he might not even make training camp, man. They might get rid of him. They so mad with him.
Yep, exactly.
know? So Cam Ward definitely a lock at that one. Like you say, barring any trades. Number two, I got Travis Hunter, man. Travis Hunter over there at Cleveland. I don't know if he's going to play cornerback. I feel like they're pretty solid over there at the defensive side. He might play more receiver, though. I think he might be a receiver over there because they let go all the good receivers that they had. They let go of Coop, you know, so I think he'll be better fit as the receiver over there at Cleveland because they need somebody or whatever that can really take that stuff off, you know, make him take off with Deshaun Watson and never know what's going on with him. But with three, I got Abdul Carter, the monster out there, Penn State. Man, they definitely New York definitely need to bulk up on that defense. Defense is pretty good or whatever, but like you say, the offensive line, receivers, there's a lot of things or whatever they need. But that's why they number three pick. So, like I say, just starting off, getting a bull like that, that's what you need. You definitely need somebody that's going to change the game immediately and effectively day one. Number four, I got the Texas man, Kelvin Banks Jr., man. OT.
That's high, bro. That's high.
Bro.
Not Campbell or Membao.
I got
You got him
Kelvin
going
Banks.
first?
I got Kelvin
That's
Banks.
bold.
I feel like he'll handle
He's
the
a good
picture
player,
way.
though.
Man, he's a great player, man. He holds that stuff down. He holds that stuff down. And I feel like a lot of people like kind of written him off just because they ain't go far in the championship. But man, like I say, just being healthy, like not a lot of sacks in his career, like throughout his career, high school and college, whatever, maybe a handful of sacks that he's given up, you know, all the way through. He is a stud. I feel like he definitely will hold that stuff down. You got to keep Drake May up. You got to keep him up. You need somebody to watch front side. So I feel like Kelvin Banks Jr. is that guy. Number five, I got Will Campbell going to the Jaguars. Another person that needs to keep freaking your boy.
Self-explanatory.
You got to keep them boys upright, man. You got to keep
Yeah,
them boys
right.
upright,
For real.
man. You got to have some open line guys in there to keep these guys up because after the first 10, man, it's not a lot of good offensive linemen going to be out there. So you need to scoop those guys up very quickly. You might have like 5 or 6 great offensive linemen, all the rest of them like so-so. So Will Campbell, I got going to the Jaguars. Probably one of the best picks they'll have in a minute. Number 6, got to go Ashton Jeanty. He's the guy. Definitely need a running back over there. He's a superstar in the making. Pete Carroll. Got Geno Smith. Got to get you some wide receivers over there in the near future. Maybe pick up somebody out the draft. Maybe some top guys, like maybe some speedsters. But I feel like, man, the Raiders gonna shake some heads this year. Definitely would have picked like Ashton Jeanty. Number 7, Jets. Got to fix that offensive line, like I say. Armand Membo gonna be needed for the Jets, man. When you have so many sacks on Aaron Rodgers and this man contemplating retirement, freaking like life-changing events, bro. Like he has done everything, and that Jets offensive line couldn't stop nothing. You can't stop a nosebleed. You can't stop nothing going on. You need somebody to solidify that offensive line. So I got 3 offensive linemen going in the first 7 picks, bro, which is
I see
unheard
that.
of.
You're high on him.
Which,
I only got one taken. You're high on
man,
him.
you got to get that stuff straight, bro, right now. Number 8, I got Matthew Golden, man. His stock has went through the roof. Isaiah Bond hadn't got hurt. Then he ran the 40 at like a 4.27, 4.29. Like this man running out the gym, bro. I feel like he's gonna be a high pick. He's a hot commodity right now. I feel like the Panthers need something like that. They need somebody with all the older guys, Thielen not being healthy all the time. You need a receiver over there for Bryce Young to throw to, a young guy, young stud to throw to or whatever, so you can take your game to the next level. You know, that second half of the season, man, they did way better. They didn't win a lot of games still, but you can tell the way that they played was different. So when you add you another wide receiver from the jump, I feel like the defense straight, bro. They just gave Horn, man, like $100 million. You feel me? I feel like they got a lot of good guys over there on that secondary and defensive side, bro. The offense be sputtering. I feel like you got to get something offensive. That's all I'm saying. I feel like you got to get something offensive. The top three guys is already going to be gone. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty. I feel like the next guy up, like as an offensive player, I feel like it's Matthew Golden, bro. He's that guy, bro.
I
He
don't
is
think
that
he's
guy.
that high. I don't think if there's any receiver taken early, it's gonna be Tet from Arizona.
I
Like
seen that too.
McMillan is a savage, bro. They have so many great receivers this year. You have Ibuka is gonna be he's gonna be picked in the first round. Like
Hmm
you have I just don't think Matthew Golden goes in the top. I can't see it.
I
I
like
can't
it.
see that. It's high
I
for
like
him. I
I
think he's
like
gonna
it.
be a good player though, and he's versatile.
I think he had a great season this year, especially with the injury to Bond, because Bond was supposed to be the number one guy coming in. Matthew Golden, man, showed up, showed out. He did his thing. I like Golden at 8. And number 9, man, the Saints got to pick up a quarterback because Carr is not the answer.
Think Shadeur falls all the way to 9. That's wild.
Man, yeah.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
bro.
No way.
Yes, bro.
No way.
I think it's gonna
There's only two good quarterbacks in this draft. There's no way that happens. There's no way they fall out of the top 5, I don't think. Because you got them
everybody
two,
else.
then who else?
Everybody else got quarterbacks though. Everybody else got their quarterback, man. You got so much money tied up in Cleveland. The only people that need a quarterback is the Titans.
So they draft
Jags,
Shador, then
Jags,
give
Jags
Carr
got
the boot.
Jags got the quarterback. I mean, unless, like I said, he goes to 7 at the Jets, maybe. That might be the only other solution. But everybody else has their quarterbacks already for the future. All their money tied up in those guys.
The
I feel
Giants
like
don't.
shit with old boy, with Russ. They're
Yeah,
gonna run with Russ.
Jameis
For
and
this
Russ.
year, you said the
They're
future.
gonna
This
rush.
year, I'm
They
talking
gonna run.
about.
They're gonna run that shit up with Russ.
And
They're gonna.
another thing is, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut your list, but it's interesting to me. Will Johnson at 10? No way he goes that late, bro. And another thing is where you slipped up on, you put Matthew Golden here. You don't think Mason Graham from Michigan is going to be a top 10 pick? You are out your mind,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
bro.
Right
That
under.
man is an elite talent. That man moves
Right under.
people at.
They were saying that the Jags was gonna pick him up at 5. But a lot of people saying don't pick this man up with such a high pick. You don't know exactly what it's going to be in that type of defensive scheme, So instead of messing the Jazz up, messing him up or whatever, he might go a little bit lower.
If the Jags drafted him at 5, he would automatically be the best player in that defense right now.
Maybe,
I mean, Trayvon
maybe.
Walker ain't gonna do. I mean, I'm just saying,
Trayvon Walker,
he's that
right?
great, is what I'm saying. There's no
I
way he
got
can't
you.
go top 10. I don't
I
think
got
that's
you.
gonna.
I got you. Yep. Will Johnson top 10 definitely at the Bears. But they need to
Oh,
get an
that's
offensive
late.
line too. They need to
That's
get
late,
offensive lineman too. Will Johnson is that guy though. He's gonna be the first corner taken off.
dude. He's gonna
Like
be
I
a
said,
lot, a lot.
I just feel like it's gonna be a lot of other guys, man. It's not about the talent, it's about the needs for the team for me.
You got a couple interesting picks on there, but a
Mhm.
couple disrespect at my Wolverine players, man. I don't take too kindly to that, man. That's crazy. Will Johnson ain't
Mhm.
going that late. Mason Graham is definitely going top 10. Sam Bam, come on, man.
I'm not going to harp on a lot of these because you guys have already said your piece about it. Cam Ward, obviously unanimous number 1 pick. Everyone under the fucking sun knows that.
Solid.
I'm going to go with Abdul Carter to Cleveland because the thought of him being on the opposite side of Myles Garrett is enough for me to pull the trigger on that. I know,
Preach.
I know. Travis Hunter has been linked to be drafted by them, but I don't think that they'll need his expertise on defense. I don't even think he's going to play much defense in the NFL. To be
I
honest,
don't think
he's
either.
going. If he does, he's going to get dragged by the
Kick
wide receiver.
returns, man,
Correct. Yeah.
he gonna get toasted.
So he's going to be
toasted.
he's going to be an offensive weapon.
Right.
Could they use
Could be.
him as a wide receiver? Yeah, they could, but I think that they could use Abdul Carter a little bit more. I know their defense isn't terrible, but just having those two on opposite ends of each other, like I said, is enough for me to pull the trigger.
It is a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. So then after that, I have Travis Hunter actually going next to the New York Giants, opposite of Malik Neighbors. I don't see them drafting another quarterback because, like you said, Sam, they've got 2. Actually, they got 3. One we'll never even hear or see or anything like that. And I know you think that they should take Shador Sanders, Jordan, but like Sam said, I'm with him with they wouldn't have brought in Russ and Jameson or Jameis for no fucking reason just to draft
Right.
another
Just
quarterback for
put
them
some
to
more
just
money
sit there.
into a quarterback.
Just
Right.
just for
That's
them to
chump
sit there.
change, bro.
I don't I
That's
don't
chump change.
I don't believe that that's the reason why they brought him in there. And there is still links to him possibly going to Pittsburgh. So
Trade.
I don't
Right.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, this is where it gets a little tricky, barring, people trading up, this, that, and the third, people falling, whatever, whatever. I got Will Johnson going number 4 to the Pats. Mike Vrabel's
See,
there.
that's
Defense,
solidified.
defensive, they need to beef up their defense. Mike Vrabel is a defensive guy. He's a defensive guy, right? Or is he an
Oh
offensive guy?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Oh
I
yeah. Mike
thought.
Vrabel's defensive guy.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what
sir.
I thought. Yeah.
Linebackers,
So
defensive line, absolutely.
right. So that's fitting. That's fitting there. Next, I got the Jags drafting Mason Graham. They need to beef up that defense as well. I know they need to, like you said, Sam. They need to, get a lineman to hold up Trevor Lawrence. But I think it's kind of hard to pick your poison. You can focus on defense. You can
Right.
focus on offense. Best player available. I'm going with Mason Graham in this number 5 spot. Number
Preach.
6. Number 6. I love Ashton Genty to the Raiders. I think he could potentially be a Beast Mode 2.0. Maybe
Mhm.
not as good as Beast Mode, the original, but
Nope.
if he can get a little bit more, as long as if he can stay healthy and he can adapt to the NFL game, I think he'll be a solid pickup for them. So after that, I got Armand Membao going to the Jets. Like we all talked about
Solid.
Jets. Jets are they're known for their defense. Even when they were going back to back to back to back conference championships, they still had a solid defense. And this is no different. They already got their quarterback. I know you guys just said talking about Shador Sanders maybe going there. I don't think he's going to go there either because just Justin Fields just got picked up by them. Excuse me. And I wouldn't expect them to bring Shador Sanders in there just for him to sit. So
It's gonna be a Tebow effect. Like when
yeah,
Tebow was sitting behind, whoever it
yeah,
was at the Jets, and they
yeah.
were talking about Tebow. They're
So
gonna
I
be
don't
screaming
I
for
don't
it.
think that I
They're
don't think
gonna
that
be.
would be a good situation for Shador Sanders to be sitting behind Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
So
No,
I'm not going with that.
I wouldn't think
no,
Next,
so
he's going
either.
to sit behind Russell Wilson.
he's
He's
not
going to
going there,
be.
dog.
He's
He's not
going to
going
the
there. No, he's
Giants.
not.
Yes, he is, bro.
Anyways,
He's going top 5.
No
Y'all
way.
are
next
crazy.
next
There's
next
No
I
way.
sorry.
got
My
next
bad.
I got Jalen Walker going to Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They're beefing up that they need to beef up that defense. I know Matthew Golden.
Oh yeah.
He's possibly linked to them because uh, Thielen isn't really been doing anything. He's getting older. I think he had a decent year last year, but he's just
Was at
Hurt
the
another
again.
end.
he's
Yeah,
just
just
another
at the
year older.
end. Mm-hmm.
They don't really have anybody else. So I can see Matthew Golden possibly going there, but Bryce Young came out in the second half of the season when he got off the bench and he played very, very well. So if he can do
Hot like
that,
fire.
if he can do that at the beginning of the season, I think that'll wipe the need to have had to draft a receiver. So I'm gonna assume or think that they need to focus on the defensive side in this first pick at least. So that's why I got Jalen Walker going there.
Mhm.
Now I have Shador Sanders going number 9 to the Saints. I know you don't like it. I know you don't like it, Jordan. And it is crazy to see how far that he would drop. And the only way that he would go sooner than that, because I think he met with Pittsburgh today. So if Pittsburgh really liked him and they're not necessarily banking on Aaron Rodgers, they might trade up to draft Shador Sanders earlier than number 9. Probably maybe like 5, 6, maybe 7 spot.
Pittsburgh set at 20. They'd have to trade up because they're at
Yeah,
21.
exactly. So they'd
Right.
have to trade up to get him. Otherwise, they're not going to get him, and I'm not sure. No one knows what the fuck Aaron Rodgers is going to do. So I'm thinking either the Saints are going to draft him, to learn from Carr, Carr's a good quarterback. He's smart and all.
Tuned.
He just makes stupid decisions sometimes, but I think it would be beneficial for him to learn behind Derek Carr. And if Pittsburgh, like I said, is worried about whether or not Aaron Rodgers is coming there, they might want to jump up to grab him within the top 10. So either way, I got him going in the top 10, but number 9 is where I got him as my mock draft. Number 10, I know Ben Johnson just got to Chicago, offensive guru, genius, whatever you want to call him. I know they already got a solid tight end, but what's another one? What's another monster tight end? He's already shown that he is NFL ready by just dominating everybody in the college game last year. I got number 10, Tyler Warren, going to Chicago to give Ben Johnson in that offense another weapon.
Tyler Warren would be the pick the Bears would love to take, but I just think you have to go offensive lineman, man. Caleb Williams was he was pulverized last year, man.
That is
and
true.
he's not really a big guy. He's a mobile guy. He can move, but my God, you don't want the kid on suicide watch. If you have a chance to get like one of these better offensive
But
tackles,
but
especially.
even though he's a tight end, he can still block.
Yeah,
I
no
know
doubt.
that
But I
doesn't
mean,
help.
But
I know that
you
doesn't
don't
help
want him.
every single play.
You
I
need
know.
Yeah, you don't want him
multiple
to do
linemen,
that
though.
stuff, right?
Right. I get that. I
You
get
need
that.
multiple linemen. If you get a game changer like Tyler Warren, you don't want him blocking on
Right.
60%.
Yeah.
You know, you want to
I
Ben
mean, you wouldn't.
Johnson.
I mean,
Ben Johnson likes to draw up crazy shit. He'd want to utilize him running the ball, throwing a pass,
right.
and like he'll have him doing crazy shit. Chicago's gonna be their playbook's gonna be insane.
I mean, he wouldn't be blocking every single play, obviously. And like you just said, Ben Johnson's, that playbook's gonna be crazy. So he might not even have a chance to block. He's just gonna be running fucking routes all day.
But I do like your list. I will say that you also only have one offensive lineman in your top 10, as well as I do.
I think these teams need to focus solely on defense.
That's the trend, man.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
defense, but I think the skilled positions and the quarterbacks, obviously, like they are just prioritized so much more in recent drafts.
Yep.